Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. I am so thrilled to have you here today. Listen, if you're an entrepreneur, a founder, or just someone with a brilliant idea that's ready to take shape in the state of Maryland, you are in exactly the right place. Today, our goal is incredibly specific, but it's absolutely vital. We're going to learn how to successfully lock down a legally compliant business entity name in Maryland. We'll go step by step through the official databases, decode the rules, and make sure your new business starts on a rock-solid foundation.
But first, I want you to picture something for a second. You've spent weeks brainstorming. You've finally found the perfect name. You print the business cards, you launch the website, you start talking to clients, and then you get a letter. So what happens if your perfect business name is actually a legal trap? The reality is, ignoring the availability search right at the very beginning can lead to some severe legal and financial nightmares. It's honestly the single biggest unforced error a new founder can make.
Because when we look at the data and the state guidelines, skipping the search doesn't just mean a slap on the wrist. It can lead to rejected state filings, which, delays your launch by weeks. It can mean massive, forced rebranding costs because someone else already owns the rights to your name. Or even worse, it can actually lead to you operating without a true liability shield because your business entity was never properly formed in the first place. And this brilliantly illustrates why doing your due diligence upfront is absolutely non-negotiable for founders. You've just got to get this right.
So, to make sure you never fall into that trap, here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We're covering the power of a name, preparing your name search, using MD Business Express, trademarks, domains, and DBAs, real-world naming examples, and finally, FAQs and final steps.
Okay, let's dive into this with Section 1, the power of a name, and setting the stage.
We often think of a business name just as a marketing tool, right? A catchy logo on a coffee cup. But in the eyes of the state of Maryland, a unique name is the fundamental bedrock of a compliant business. According to our sources, a legally verified name does 3 heavy lifting jobs for you. First, it ensures strict compliance with state laws. Second, it builds actual brand value that you own. And third, and honestly, this is perhaps the most important, it acts as the keystone of your limited liability shield. By separating your personal identity from a formally recognized business identity, you are protecting your own personal assets from business debts and lawsuits. Without a legally verified name, that shield simply doesn't exist.
Moving right along to Section 2, preparing your name search and the non-negotiable rules.
So before you even touch a keyboard, you need to know the rules of the game. In Maryland, the State Department of Assessments and Taxation, usually just called SDAT, acts as this strict threshold guardian, and they have very specific non-negotiable rules you absolutely have to follow. First up, your official legal name must include an entity identifier. If you're forming an LLC, the name has to explicitly include LLC, LLC, or limited liability company. Second, it cannot contain restricted words like bank, trust, or insurance unless you have special state licensing and approval. And third, your name must be uniquely distinguishable from all existing entities on file in Maryland. So the crucial point here is this: brainstorm several variations of your desired name before you even hit the portal, just in case your first choice violates one of these rules or is already taken.
All right, Section 3, using MD Business Express. Let's do a portal walkthrough.
MD Business Express is the official, completely free online portal maintained by the state, and it's basically the essential map for your journey as a founder. Let's walk through the exact click path you need to take. Step 1. Just go to the MD Business Express Entity Search portal online. Step 2. Select Business Name from the drop-down menu. Step 3. And hey, this is a great pro tip from our sources. Enter only the most distinctive keywords of your name, and deliberately leave out identifiers like LLC or Inc. For example, if your dream name is Maryland Crafts LLC, just search Maryland Crafts. The system uses a starts with matching logic, so shorter search terms actually work a lot better to catch partial matches. And finally, step 4. Hit search and carefully review the returned matches for any potential conflicts.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is decoding the results. When you get your search matches back, you're going to see a column labeled Status. We can actually translate this bureaucratic jargon to find hidden opportunities. If a business status is active, they own the name. It's a hard no, it's not available. If it says not in good standing, it means they're behind on paperwork, but they still technically own the name. So again, no. But look at forfeited. A forfeited status means the business lost its right to conduct business in Maryland, usually for failing to file annual reports. Because they lost their rights, a forfeited name usually becomes available for someone else to claim. It's like finding a hidden gem. And of course, a dissolved status means the business formally wound down, so that name is totally up for grabs too.
Next up, Section 4, trademarks,
domains, and DBAs. How to fully protect your brand.
Finding a clear, available name on the Maryland State Portal is a massive victory for sure, but state-level clearance does not give you total brand invincibility. SDAT approval strictly means no one else in Maryland is using that exact legal entity name. It absolutely does not grant you federal trademark protection. You must always cross-check the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office database over uspto.gov to ensure you aren't infringing on a national brand. I mean, imagine clearing the state level only to get sued by a massive corporation in California because they own the federal trademark. Yikes! Additionally, you want to immediately check if your .com web domain and social media handles are available. These are crucial allies in fully protecting your new business name in the real world.
And while we're talking about naming strategies, we have to mention trade names, which are commonly known as DBAs, or doing business as. A trade name is basically a registered alias filed with SDAT used for your public-facing branding. For example, maybe your legal LLC name is Smith Enterprises LLC, but you file a DBA to operate your storefront as Baltimore Best Bakery. It offers incredible branding flexibility. Just remember, a DBA cannot contain entity suffixes like Inc. or Corp. Unless your underlying business actually has that legal corporate structure.
Let's look at Section 5, Real-World Naming Examples, Seeing Distinguishability in Action. So let's see how Maryland's strict rules actually play out in practice. Imagine you want to form an LLC called Oreo Landscapers LLC. You do your search and you see there's already an active business called Oreo Landscapers Inc. And this brilliantly illustrates a super common pitfall. Simply changing the entity suffix, swapping the Inc. for an LLC, does absolutely nothing to make a name legally distinguishable in the state of Maryland. To the SDAT matching system, those two names are completely identical, and your LLC application is going to be rejected instantly. The guidelines actually explicitly warn founders against trying to game the system like this. Slight differences in punctuation, capitalization, or spacing won't make a name sufficiently distinguishable. You can't just throw in a comma or take out a space or make a word plural to get around it. The state system literally ignores punctuation entirely during a search. You have to be truly creative here. If your dream name is taken, you need to add distinct geographic identifiers, change the core wording, or maybe just rethink the brand name entirely.
All right, we've made it to Section 6, FAQs and final steps, securing your dream name.
We are in the home stretch, so let's address a really common beginner question to make sure you have the ultimate action plan. Here's a scenario that happens all the time. You do the search. Your absolute perfect dream business name is sitting right there, totally available. But you aren't quite ready to file your actual articles of organization yet. Maybe you're still saving up the filing capital or finalizing your business plan. So what do you do to stop someone else from swooping in and stealing it in the meantime?
Well, Maryland offers a very easy solution for this, the name reservation. For a simple $25 fee paid to SDAT, you can formally request to hold a specific business name for 30 days. You can even renew it for additional 30-day periods if you need to. This is a brilliant strategic move. It buys you the critical time you need to draft an operating agreement and appoint a resident agent, which, by the way, requires a physical street address in Maryland, all without the anxiety of losing your perfect name while you get your ducks in a row. Now, before we wrap things up, I want to share the ultimate best practice for any founder setting up a business. Please keep this disclaimer in mind. This explainer is strictly educational. The rules of business formation and compliance are complex, and frankly, they can change. You should always consult with a qualified business attorney or professional advisor to get personalized legal guidance tailored specifically to your unique situation. Getting expert advice early on is an investment in your business's future security.
And that brings us to the end of our journey today. We've covered the high stakes, the non-negotiable rules, the MD Business Express portal, and the broader brand strategy. But I want to leave you with one final, kind of urgent question to think about. Your dream business name might be legally available right now, today, but will it still be there tomorrow? The Maryland Business Registry is constantly updating with new entrepreneurs chasing their own dreams. So don't leave your brand a chance. Take the knowledge you've gained from this explainer, head over to the Maryland Business Express portal, and go run that search right now. Your future business will definitely thank you. Keep learning, keep building, and I will see you in the next explainer.